Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto. I'm a photographer. Today it's another photo walk and I have a special weirdo guest here, Peter Fourscourt.
Hello.
So in case you don't know of his channel, please check out the link down below.
Nice to be here. Nice to be here.
Hey, welcome. Good to have you. Looks like we have the same camera and we'll talk a bit more about these cameras and a few other things, but let's first get a few shots. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yes, we both seem to have the Ricoh GR3. What is yours? Is that the X or the regular one?
This is the X because I like the focal length better than 28mm, 40mm. Okay. I'm not gonna say it equivalent anyway because I think it's 26.1, which the angle of view is about 40mm.
Yes, I have the same, but I have the HDF model, the new one, with the soft filter or whatever it's called.
Mist filter or something.
Mist or something.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have a really neat, what is that, the lens shade?
Yeah, this is actually a Swedish manufacturer.
Swedish?
Yes, squarehood.se.
Interesting.
Yes.
Peter,
Yeah.
do you usually shoot JPEG or RAW?
Mainly raw.
So,
Sometimes if I have some kind of a film recipe, then I might shoot both.
so it's not important for you to be able to share your pictures right away?
No, I don't need to do that. No, and if I need to, then I can transfer them to my phone and edit it on there if there is a real need. But usually there isn't. What about you? What do you do?
I'm a RAW shooter, and it's not important for me to be able to share my pictures right away. I think it doesn't really matter because if I put it on Instagram or whatever social media platform, the viewer who sees the picture, they can't know when I took the picture. So what does it matter if I share it now or 5 days from now? So you don't mind about some post-processing then if you shoot RAW, because RAW always requires some amount of post-processing.
No, I really don't mind because I don't spend a lot of time because when I take a photograph, I usually know roughly what I'm going to do with it, and it's like a 30-second, 60-second thing when I edit the photo, which it's not a bad thing. So I don't have what some people do. They take thousands of photos and then they have this editing line that takes 2 weeks to edit the photos. After this photo walk, I will go back to my office, look at the images and edit a couple of images, and it takes about 5 minutes in total, so no problem in my opinion.
You know what, Peter? I tend to agree with you.
Really?
Yes, what a surprise. When I go back home from this photo walk, I'll import my pictures into Lightroom and then I select a few good ones and process those. I think it doesn't make any sense to post-process every picture because inevitably there's only just a couple of a few keepers that are worthy of some sort of post-processing.
Now I should say something that, yeah, of course there's only few. No,
yeah, in my case, always.
You probably have a lot more than I do, so who am I to say?
And I also think that post-processing is an essential part of photography, at least for me. Maybe I'm old school or whatever, but still I feel that I have to take another look at my pictures after the shoot.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think the biggest part is also that when I go back, I look at the photographs right away usually and leave them for a few days and come back to them after a couple of days because you see different things and you kind of made some distance from the actual act of photography, and that's I think it's really important because when you take photographs you might be really excited and you might not see, you think that this one is the best one and then you made some other images that are even better after a couple of days or even weeks.
I know what you're saying, exactly.
Yeah.
And another thing is that it's a little bit the same thing. When you post-process your pictures, you take another look at your shots and then you can finally decide if it's a keeper or not. It's a different thing to look at the picture on a small camera screen
when it's
Yeah,
bright weather, you can't see a thing from there.
Exactly, with sunglasses and everything.
Yeah.
But when you have it on a big screen and there are no distracting factors around you and you are not in a hurry to share it as quickly as possible,
Exactly.
then you finally can see if it is a good one or not.
Exactly, and I totally agree that the editing part, which I didn't mention earlier, is part of photography, I think. I don't do, like I said earlier, I don't do excessive amount, but it's still part, like it used to be in the darkroom.
Yes.
There's many darkroom or film developers, they do a lot more to the image in the darkroom than I do in Lightroom.
Yes,
To be
that
honest,
is
so-
that's true.
So it's yeah, I think it's a part. If that's old school, then yes, I'm an old schooler too.
But of course, when you're out here shooting on your GR3X camera, you have
Or
to
any
get...
other camera.
Yeah, okay, any camera will do if you don't have the
Yes,
GR3X.
exactly.
Not a paid advertisement, by the way. Yes, you have to get certain things right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So the post-processing part is not about correcting your mistakes, even though you can correct minor mistakes, of course, but it's not about that. It's about fine-tuning the picture to your liking, the tonality and everything like that.
Exactly, yeah. Of course, exposure is something that I try to get right when I'm making the image because, well, it's a better quality if you have that right. You don't have to, open up the shadows too much.
Yeah, exposure, composition, a focus, where the focus is
Yes.
it where you want it? And
Exactly.
all those things you have to get right. So we have established that we both like to shoot raw, but I think Rico has some really nice looking film, not film simulations, but
Well, it's kind of.
yeah. So often when I process my pictures, I take one of those as a starting point. The negative,
Negative film, I think it's
that's
called.
my favorite. Do you ever use those?
Not really. I might dial in some, like my own presets and use those. But of course, the
So
starting.
you think yours are better than
I'm not saying that they're better, but there's something that I like, and I might use that.
better
as
for you?
Better for me. I might use that as a starting point if I want to have a certain look on the images.
Yeah.
And it depends on the feeling. Sometimes I like to shoot, really high contrast black and white. Sometimes desaturated colors. It depends, and it's well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's about the feeling that I'm
Of course.
having at the moment when I go out and shoot.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Makes sense. I
Yeah.
think you have said, and I have certainly said it a few times in my videos, that the camera doesn't matter. It's all about the photographer. But I think it's not the whole truth, is it?
No, actually it isn't. Like you said, I've said many times in my videos that any camera is good, and especially if you're doing street photography, the camera you have is probably the best one you can use. But to be honest, this particular camera has made it a lot easier for two reasons. I don't need to worry about which lens to use. It's fixed, so
No need to change lenses
no, I
ever.
don't think about which lens should I take. I just take this, and this is also I can fit it in my pocket and a small bag, so I don't have to carry a lot of things. It makes everything easier. And then I use mainly P mode and auto ISO. I just fire away.
Make it simple.
Yeah, make it simple, so I can concentrate more on the actual photograph than thinking that what aperture, what, and this and that. Because in street photography, it doesn't really matter in most cases. And then also, being so small, people don't really see that I'm photographing. It doesn't make any noise. There is,
You can be inconspicuous.
yeah. I can just walk and, and I can use this to shoot from the hip. I can just carry it like this, and I can,
Yeah.
Of course, it takes some practice, and for that, the 28mm version is a little bit better than this because it's a bit hard. But yes, I have to admit that I've had this for about 9 months now, and it has changed my photography. And I think my photographs with this, when I'm doing street, are better than the older ones.
I think what Peter said makes a complete sense to me because I also think this is by far the best street camera, and it has also kind of changed my street photography. Are you, Peter, finding anything interesting there?
Yeah, some shadows and colors and stuff,
Light and shadow, it's all
Yeah,
about
it's a
light.
good weather to photograph. Usually they say that midday, like it is now right now, is the worst time. But for streets, I think it's nice because the harsh light you can have really.
You know, talking
shadows.
about light, I wanted to ask you something. Would you prefer a morning light or evening light?
Probably morning light, because I usually wake up early and go quite early to bed, so morning light in that sense, but otherwise it doesn't really matter.
All right, I prefer definitely evening light.
The best time to photograph, to be honest, is the so-called blue hour, when you have some detail in the sky and then all the street lights and signs
Yes.
are lit. I think that's one of the best times.
Yes. So that's it this time. Thanks so much for joining in. Please remember to check out Peter's channel if you don't know it already. And
if you haven't subscribed to Matti's channel, do that also.
do that, please do that. And if you enjoyed this a lot, please buy me a coffee. There's a link down below if you don't live in Finland, so I can buy Peter a coffee after this because he has earned it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was
It's a pleasure,
good time
always.
again, because you know
Always a pleasure.
it's nice, a lot of fun.
Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.
Bye.